that I wanted to take this farm in the next 100 years.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Window Seat. Today we are here on the beautiful Gold Coast at Currumbin Valley at Freeman's Organic Farm. You can see I'm surrounded by beautiful organic produce, banana trees, avocados. I've just got one right near me. So stay tuned for today's episode and we'll take you around the Freeman's Organic Farm and we'll also chat with the founders. Stay tuned. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, The Window Seat. Hit us a like, leave us your comments below and hit the bell so that you can get the latest updates from our channel.
Your destination is on the right.
So today I'm here on the Currumbin Valley in Queensland, Australia with a very special person. This is a farm, an organic farm that started a decade. No, that's wrong. A century ago. And here, everything is organic. And following the ancestral line and following that legacy, I have with me today David Freeman. So David, thank you for joining me today, and I'd like to have a brief chat with you about how you feel being an organic farmer.
Look, I'm very passionate about organic farming. I was an army officer for 28 years, which you may or may not be aware of, and I studied international law. But in the last few years of my army career, I started researching and reading about organic, and I realised that the nutrient density and the benefit from sustainability point of view was so much superior than conventional farming that I wanted to take this farm in the next 100 years or 1,000 years as an organic farm and practicing regenerative agriculture. So there's a fool as a lawyer. There's a saying in law that fool is a lawyer who represents himself. So my saying or my mantra became fool is the farmer who doesn't study the science first. So to be a good organic farmer when I retired from the army, I said, right, well, I'm going to go back and study organic farming. Okay. So I did a certificate in organic farming at the Wangbar TAFE, and I've done various other short courses and an excellent course by Graham Sate up at Yandina, Nutritech Solutions, a certificate in nutrition farming. It's so good I'm taking my partner back there for a refresher course in August. And so I've just then slowly with this 106-year-old farm started that journey of soil regeneration, which is basically I go around all my 1,000 fruit trees, I test the pH of every tree, I then add minerals and lime to get it up to the pH of 6.5, and I make my own organic compost with mycorrhizal fungi, which I then put around every tree in a beautiful combination of compost, loosened hay mulch and seasoned wood chip, and that brings in the beautiful biology into the soil. Yeah. And because I'm a VIP, I'm getting weighted on. Oh,
that's great, yeah.
So what we say in Sri Lankan, darling, we say Sthuthi. Sthuthi.
Yeah, it's Sthuthi.
Yes, okay. Your next question, sorry.
That's great. And I had the privilege of having a coffee here, and just knowing that it's all organic produce makes it all the more special. So
would you like to have a sip of this one?
Oh, I had a whole heap of straw coffee. Thanks, David. Just if someone's watching who is not into organic farming yet, what do you suggest? What would be the starting points for it?
I think what you've got to do is go into a couple of short courses, read yourself into it, because it's a whole different philosophical and ideological approach to farming. And unfortunately, over a couple of generations, people have been fed the line by the agronomists and the chemical companies. And it was called the Green Revolution. It was a misnomer. It happened in India, it happened probably in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Happened here after World War II. Well, there's a lot of urea left over from World War II, and that was used actually to make runways In fact, my father's a World War II fighter pilot, so in the jungles they would grade the soil, and then they would put urea and it would compact and it would kill all the biology in the top of the soil. So there was millions of tons of urea left over after World War II, and then the chemical company started selling it as fertiliser with these promises that they can increase their yield by 2 or 3-fold.
Yes.
Now that worked for a start, but what it does, because it's an acidic fertiliser, it then started to acidify the ground. Because of the acidification, the pH went down. You started getting manganese and aluminium toxicity.
Yep.
Your levels of calcium, magnesium, phosphorus and potassium went down. The plant becomes weaker.
Yes.
Then you cannot grow the plant without then a chemical insecticide, fungicide, herbicide. So it becomes this vicious cycle that the modern conventional farming cannot grow anything without all these other inputs. Whereas the organic farmer like me, this soil behind us,
Yes.
pH of 7, high organic matter, we can grow far more nutrient-dense food.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing is on my 500 avocado, there's an avocado tree when your husband can
Yes.
turn around.
Yeah.
That is growing completely organically because my soil is so good that the avocado doesn't get phytophthora, the root fungus, because my soil is alive with biology. It's able to repel the soil fungus.
Okay.
Whereas if I was a conventional farmer, I didn't have that biology in my soil, I'd have to be treating all my trees for soil fungus
Right.
because my soil is not healthy.
Yeah.
Then I'm able to treat my avocados instead of using a pesticide for a very detrimental little bug called the fruit spotting bug, which attacks avocados,
Yeah.
gives a hard lump. I had 40% damage on my avocado trees when I got out of the army, but by looking at biological controls, introducing an indigenous predator to Australia called the anastasis wasp,
Okay.
I've been able to reduce my insect damage from 40% to less than 1%.
Wow.
So it's both the soil regeneration and the healthy biology in soil, plus looking at an integrated pest management program,
Yeah.
which is using biological control,
Correct.
not chemical controls, either organic or inorganic.
Right. Wow, that's great. I think for someone who's really wanting to start an organic farm, that's great advice, David. And I think the key to anything is just to start studying about it first, I guess.
Yep.
And what's special about the Currumbin Valley here? Because I think this banana farm is 100 years or more than that. And it was one of the very first banana farms here in Australia.
Yep.
So what's special about this, the floor, the land here, the soil here?
What's special about it, if your husband spans the camera around that way, you will see the ocean and the northerly aspect. So when my great uncle was in Fiji, this man Arthur Freeman, he had 1,000 acres of bananas in Fiji and was exporting before World War One.
Yeah.
But then when the World War One broke out, the government requisitioned his 3 ships because he was sending 12,000 tonnes a month, because they needed the ships for the troops to go to Gallipoli. And so he then came to Australia and found land that he believed he could grow bananas on. So this is subtropical, we're 29 degrees latitude south,
Yeah.
1,000 feet high, but we face north. So you've got this warm winter sun all day.
Right.
So on this slope here that you're looking up, if you must be able to tell the bananas, I don't know whether you can, over there. And then we'll come back and watch that.
That's alright.
So you see those bananas down there? They're the very first bananas ever planted in Australia in 1915. So these northern slopes all the way down here, they have what we call a sort of a mini tropical climate, because
Right.
where we're standing never goes below 10 degrees Celsius.
Wow.
And
Okay.
these northern slopes get all this warm. So this is a unique microclimate.
Right.
Even though we're at 1,000 feet, this is warmer than the floor of the valley or the Gold Coast because of the sunshine. It doesn't get any cold wind, it's protected from the cold wind. So on these slopes I have bananas, I have avocados, I have lychees, I have pawpaws, I have mangoes. I've got a gully down there where I'm actually growing coconut.
Wow. Okay.
So it's very warm and mild in the winter.
Yes.
It's only 6 nautical miles to the ocean.
Yes.
So we have the maritime influence, so it never gets very cold in winter.
Yeah.
And likewise it doesn't get very hot in summer. 27 degrees in summer
Okay.
maximum, 21 degrees in winter.
Wow.
30 feet of topsoil, basalt,
Great.
the most
Okay.
fertile soil in the world,
Yeah.
and 2,200 millimetres of rain a year.
Oh, okay.
So very high rainfall,
Yes.
very even maritime temperature, very
Such a
fertile soil.
unique place.
It's a unique microclimate.
Yes. Wow, that's really interesting. And so, was this something that you like envisioned while you were working in the army? Like, did you really were you all into organic farming all the time, or was it something that that you picked up like along the line while you were in the army or after that?
We'd never used. In my father's 96. He's still alive, and when he came, he was a pilot in World War II. When he came back, he took over from his great uncle,
Yeah.
who had really been an organic farmer, because before World War II there's no chemicals used, and my great uncle used to use fowl manure and grow legumes and this sort of thing, so there was not the chemical revolution. My father probably then was seduced by the chemical revolution in the post-war era, but we didn't like the use of chemicals, so we'd never use pesticides, we didn't use fungicides. We used herbicides just because bananas are on such steep country. It's hard to keep the weeds down. So that's the biggest challenge when an organic farmer is how do you control the weeds.
Yeah.
So what I do, I have a much smaller area, and instead of having 50 acres of bananas, I only have 2 acres of bananas because it's so much more intensive labour.
Yeah.
But I've expanded my avocados, and what I do, I clear an area around it, then I'll plant the grass and the legume and the ground cover that I want close to the avocado tree, and then I can cut that with a brush cutter, and so it's putting all that organic matter back into the soil.
Great. And I think a lot of people think that organic farming is a lot of work. Is it?
Yes.
And also, if you want to get into organic farming, how can one really get themselves oriented towards it?
That's a very good question. Firstly, I think you have to read and do the short courses. Maybe do a 2-day intensive course, maybe do the 4-day intensive course at Yandina, maybe enrol in Certificate 3 in organic farming at the TAFE at Kingscliff or at Wallingbar, or there's a Certificate 3 in production horticulture. Or your university now is the first university in the world to have the Bachelor of Science, open brackets, regenerative agriculture, close brackets. It's so popular that they're now offering a graduate diploma in regenerative organic farming.
Yes, that's right. Southern Cross University offers the regenerative agriculture course.
So you know it's a world leader now in this area of agriculture and research and practice. So if people were interested in, I think I have volunteers here every Thursday. Come along and spend a few Thursdays with me, so you can see how we run a multifaceted organic farm, how I make the compost, how we regenerate the soil, how we test the soil, and all those other 12, what I call the 12 principles of organic farming that I apply. Buy the Australian Organic Gardening magazine, go to seminars and listen to podcasts, but come and meet some organic farmers and do some volunteering to just
Nothing
see.
like the practical experience.
You got it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. Thanks so much, David. I think in this short chat that we had, I learned so much about organic farming. I am personally into organic farming, and I love just the idea of it as well. And just having that organic produce and eating it, it's just a whole new level. It's not what you get from all the fertilized products that we have out right now. So thanks so much for joining me today.
I've just got one thing to say, the nutrient density, if I can finish on this. The reason why organic farmers like me to go to so much trouble is that when your soil is minerally balanced with the right pH and mineral density, nutrient density, is the plants we can grow are so much better as far as taste, nutrient density and longevity. The example is, and this is a classic case study I give to everyone, the modern agricultural paradigm is hydroponic farming. Hydroponic, everybody knows, is just a tube, water going down a tube, diluted with soluble nitrates, an artificial chemical. But the lettuce, let's take lettuce as an example, will grow very quickly in that hydroponic. Okay, they look beautiful when you go in the supermarket. They're in a cellophane packet. We get seduced by the marketing. But when you get home and you taste the lettuce, you go, oh, that's bitter. And after 3 days, it's gone limp. In the fridge, you have to throw it out. The measurement of that hydroponic lettuce will only go 1.5 on the Brix meter, B-R-I-X. And the way you measure the Brix of any plant or flower or grape or coffee, you get the natural leaf or the fruit and you squeeze the juice out of it. You put it on the refractometer and you hold it up to the sun. It has a scale between 0 and 22. The hydroponic lettuce will only measure 1.5 on the Brix. The lettuce I grow in that garden over here will go 20 on the Brix. The hydroponic lettuce will only last 3 days. My lettuce will last 3 weeks. So that is the difference between an organically grown piece of fruit or vegetable compared to the non-organic chemical grown
Yeah.
lettuce or green or vegetable or whatever you want. It's just that the organic, when it's grown on healthy, biologically alive soils, will always out measure the non-organic produce.
Wow.
Plus it has no residual chemicals in it. And it can be up to a factor of 12 times more nutritious,
Wow,
which is so when people say, oh, but it's so dear, you say, well, look, you pay $4.50 for a non-organic lettuce, which has a Brix of 1.5, and
Yes.
it's mildly carcinogenic, or you pay $5.50 or $6 for an organic lettuce, which is 12 times more nutrient dense.
Yeah.
It's got no chemicals in it, and will last 3 weeks in your crisper.
Wow.
So as a lawyer, what I say there is I rest my case.
For sure. And I think just as you explained, just when you buy the organic produce, or when you eat them, you really feel that entire story with it, because everything is fresh and everything is all with organic produce, and that's what makes it so special. So thanks so much, David. It was a great chat, and I loved visiting here, and just with this beautiful scenic view, and also the beautiful coffee and the beautiful organic produce that you have in your coffee shop. It's just an amazing day out. And I also love the music that was played here, which was a whole new level, and we just enjoyed sitting here and enjoying that music too. So just from the Gold Coast, it's I think maybe a half an hour up here.
15-20 minutes from the M1,
Probably,
that's all.
yeah. And it's so relieving and calming, and such a beautiful day to spend a Sunday. So thanks so much, David, and I hope that this organic produce and this farm grows from strength to strength, because that's what we need for the future. Thank you.
And so what we say in Sri Lanka, Sthuthi.
Sthuthi.
I feel like I'm knocking on heaven's door. If you know the words, everybody now. I'm knocking on heaven's door. I'm knocking on heaven's door. I'm knocking on heaven's door.
At the Freeman's organic farm, and we are here at the coffee shop, and Ben is here and John is here as well to show us how this organic coffee is made into a beautiful cappuccino or a latte, or what else?
A latte is good. So we have an organic coffee from Peru. It's a single origin, and it is like a very smooth but bold, but like a very caramelly bold taste.
Yeah.
But goes very well with milk.
Wow,
So
okay.
and we will show you that process now. Let me see it again. Now you have one latte.
Beautiful, and that was pretty quick, Ben. Just seeing how this process works and how all this organic coffee goes into that cup is really impressive. Do you like to make coffee?
Yeah, I do it because I love it. I love the process, obviously the organic coffee, but also creating the art on the cup. This is a simple one, but it depends on my mood and how I feel.
Exactly.
But it is a real love for coffee.
Yeah.
I drink too much coffee, by the way.
Yes.
And,
And what is it like for you and Joanne working here at an organic farm, at a cafe, a shop? What's the feeling like?
Well, I think the thing for us is we both work on the farm as well.
Yeah.
So we farm here, but then we also get to make coffee here together. And Joao is from a farm in Brazil. I'm a city boy from Perth.
Right.
And we meet on the farm here. And really the barriers are broken down. We get to make coffee and work with our hands in the dirt on the farm and just really be together as brothers.
Wow,
you know,
that's great.
like, and we become very good friends just through working here.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Ben, for showing us this process and also for having us here at this beautiful farm. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Now we are here on these beautiful beds of the lettuce, and also, David, you're holding a broccoli which is organic. Would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Of course. So I was just saying before in the last clip that when you buy the hydroponic lettuce, how it doesn't have the nutrient density of the lettuce growing here, you can see none of it's been eaten by insects.
No.
Because it has a Brix over 16. When you reach a Brix of 16, the natural sugars are so high in the leaf, my silicon in the soil makes the leaf so strong that the insect will not attack it. And if it tries to eat it, the sugars are so high it ferments in the gut of the caterpillar and it falls off and it dies.
Ooh,
Also,
okay.
because my silicon is so high in this volcanic soil, and I also add silicon compost, that it then sends out a different radio frequency.
Right.
So when the insect tries to attack, it flies down to Bond University and Mermaid Beach and eats their lettuce instead. Because that's grown on very bad soil.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's really interesting.
The broccoli, we're just talking about the broccoli. This broccoli has a Brix of 18. It is nutrient dense, it's never been sprayed. The chemical broccoli you buy in the supermarket has been sprayed 13 times in 10 weeks.
Wow.
And it's
okay.
systemic, so the chemicals come up through the stem, you can't stop that. When you cook the non-organic broccoli, it'll go light green and fall apart and taste quite bitter.
Yes.
When you steam this tonight, this will go dark green and it will squeak on your teeth. And it's actually tastes slightly sweet because it's got a Brix of 18.
That's why it tastes so good.
That's right. So that is, the proof is in the pudding, my friends. The snow peas which are growing here, when you come back next week and eat a snow pea, they will squeak on your teeth because it's just so high in nutrition.
Yeah.
So everything tastes better when it's organically grown.
Yes.
It's better for you
Yeah.
and it has a much longer shelf life. It's also sustainable agriculture.
Yeah.
The compost I make down there, I'm putting back into the soil tons and tons of carbon. So when I put the compost on the soil, my soil will hold 9 times the volume of water
Yeah.
than soil without carbon. So
Wow.
I've drought-proofed my farm. Also, I'm sequestering carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere back into the soil. So regenerative agriculture, organic farming or biodynamic, whatever you want to call it, is helping reduce CO2 gas. And it's making, my wish is that this farm will go on for 1,000 years.
Oh,
So if they keep practicing my
definitely.
principles for 1,000 years,
yeah.
this farm will go on ad infinitum. So
And that's what we need for the future.
we do.
Yes. Thanks, David.
Okay.
It's just great knowing all about this beautiful produce that you have here. Thank you.
Sthuthi.
So David, we're now here at this veterans garden. I just had a walk and it's such a beautiful, like, calming effect that it gives. What's about this garden?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Tilly. So you might be aware that I was an ex-lieutenant colonel in the Australian Army and I did 5 tours of duty.
Yep.
2 of Timor, 1 of Iraq, 2 of Afghanistan, and a lot of Afghan veterans especially have come back very troubled with both physical and mental injuries.
Yep.
And I'm on the board of the RSL, the Currumbin RSL, and Ben, the barista up there, is a veteran, also from Iraq. And so when he came here last year, I had a couple of one-day seminars for veterans, workshops I should say, and Ben And I said, you know, wouldn't it be good, mate, if we just started developing a garden especially for veterans?
Yeah.
So I decided this 4,000 square metres, which is the best land on the whole farm, if I donated this 4,000 square metres, or had an arrangement where all veterans could come, volunteer on a Thursday. We use all the organic matter from the Currumbin RSL, make compost and then turn it into the ground, and then they can grow their own organic produce for free. And so you can see Ben's already set up camp here, he's got his caravan. When we get funding out of the government or the RSL, we want to extend the shed and build some modest accommodation.
Wow.
So we might have 2 big shipping containers that might be able to have, you know, 6 to 8 men come and stay here.
Great.
And so they can maybe come and do a 5-day retreat. And we want to turn this area into a mini food forest,
Wow.
which will be 250 fruit trees, over 4,000 square metres from all around the world, which will all have medicinal benefits.
Wow.
And so become like a mini botanical gardens where the path will just meander through and then end up down on the grass down at the homestead.
Wow.
So this will be like a showpiece garden.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, David. It's such a beautiful place to be, and you really feel that healing power of nature when you're here as well. Thank you.
Okay, Sthuthi. Sthuthi.
So today we visited the Freeman's organic farm. This farm has been there for more than 100 years, and when you visit this land, you just feel that warmth, the ancestral heritage and the legends that created this. So that vibe is still here, and just listening to how this organic produce is being produced, it's just amazing. It's a lot of hard work, but at the end of the day, it's kinder to the planet, and it's also a major contribution to all the beautiful organic produce that's here in Australia. So we hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we hope that you will on your own start organic produce in your little gardens, in your little patios at your home. So stay tuned for our next episode, and we will bring you a very interesting episode of a place or an experience. Don't forget to subscribe, hit us a like, and leave your comments below. See you next time.
Change my mind and wanna stay.
Bring it over here, Jake.
We never did hear too much talking anyway. But don't think twice, it's alright.